It is Qui-Gon Jinn Tuesday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. This morning, let us play with the latest iteration of Buddha's easy meditation. Harken back to the halcyon days of junior high, where a bespectacled and whistleblowing PE teacher would demand that first we warm up, then we would perform the main event, and then we would cool down. We're going to follow a similar outline. The first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path is the view of reality, or presents the view of reality that supports letting go. We practice that through Mahayoga's wisdom warm-up. What follows is not something predicated on active belief or active analysis, but merely a gentle warm-up. Please chant with me. Rather than indulge our controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors with statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. The Buddha was fond of organizing perceptions in four categories: the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. Let us begin with the circumstantial. Consider the first word of this sentence, may. What follows is not a supplication to a real or imagined celestial entity, as much as it is simply us using language to guide our own intention. Together. May we see how all circumstances or lots could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. So, we're using the verb melt as a metaphor of impermanence. We're introducing the verb absorb as a metaphor of interdependence. And just as a forester might use fire to fight fire, we are going to use self-centeredness to transcend self-centeredness. We're now going to take all these words and coalesce them into merely 6 syllables that we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. May we feel how all bodies or forms could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. May we hear how all interpersonal speech could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. what we're now going to do is demystify the concept of emptiness. Far too often, well, whenever emptiness is explored, literally it leads to confusion or blind faith. But emptiness was always supposed to be a figure of speech. So in the second half of this chant, we're going to explore how emptiness could be viewed symbolically. Let us begin with the word may. May we feel her while perceiving, emoting, intending, thinking, recalling, and imagining minds could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into a vast empty void. Now, what's a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be non-graspable to the hand. So we're going to take all those words and coalesce them into just 6 syllables. Though we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. The 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path are Ati Yoga's mindfulness and meditation, which I would love to explore with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each sect of meditation, each school of meditation, so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Now let us return to this morning's practice. Gesture or mudra-oriented Anu Yoga or energy work can support our practice of mindfulness and meditation. We could keep track of our first collection of our left hands. 8 sets, counted beginning with the little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our left hand's 8 sets of our right hand's 12 rounds, wherein we advance the tip of our thumb during each inhalation, and thusly count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, doing so, I forgot the third bit. How do we collect? How do we keep track of that? How do we keep track of that first collection? By resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger, and placing both these hands palms up in our lap. Doing so induces our real or imagined subtle energy to coalesce in our bladder, or near our bladder, in the region of our bladder. Tulku Thondep taught that mindfulness was simply vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly noticing mind's antics of perceiving, emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. And they can be accomplished quite elegantly by by silently, mentally, and passively reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. Chagdud-toku taught that meditation was simply relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature in such a manner that as we relax into our exhalation, all that we noticed during our previous inhalation could begin to feel as if it was fleetingly less solid, less permanent, and less defining. We practice this by silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. The ideal attitude to cop during meditation is this: whatever comes, let it come. Whatever stays, let it stay. Whatever goes, let it go. So, for instance, if you're experiencing, well, let's think of it this way. As we relax into our exhalation, our previous inhalations, duality of pleasant memories and unpleasant memories, melts into the simplicity of just memory. We now come to our second collection, wherein upon our left hand we will count 8 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And upon our right hand we will count 12 rounds, advancing our thumb during each inhalation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. To keep track of this second collection, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, and rest both these hands' palms up in our lap while our thumbs happily count their respective creases. Doing so, using this gesture, this mudra, induces subtle energy to coalesce in our navel region. Again, the key to mindfulness is to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly observe mind's antics of perceiving, emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. This is best accomplished by silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The key to meditation is to relax into our exhalation, and as such cause that which we observed during our previous inhalation to at least fleetingly seem a trifle less solid, less permanent, less defining. This is known as relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature, and it is best accomplished by silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. Pardon me. We now prepare for our third collection of our left hand's 8 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Of our right hand's 12 rounds, wherein we advance the tip of our right thumb during each inhalation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now in 3D. When we keep track of this third collection, by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, setting both these hands palms up in our lap. As we do so, subtle energies coalesce at our heart. Mindfulness is just vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly observing mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, thought, recollection, and imagination. It is best practiced by silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation. Meditation. When we meditate, we relax into our exhalation, thus causing all that we perceived during our previous inhalation to be less tangible, fleetingly less tangible, less permanent, and less defining, or at least to seem very much that way. This is best practiced by silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. Do bear with me a moment longer. Thank you for your patience. Allow me to remind you of that which you've already surmised, that this crease counting Anu Yoga is a bit ungainly and awkward. But if you persist with it once every 12 hours for 1 or 2 weeks, you will master this entire system. We come now to the fourth and final collection of Silent Meditations Left Hand 8 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And right hand of right hands 12 rounds of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We keep track of this fourth collection by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger in our lap. Doing so induces the subtle energies to coalesce at our crown. Mindfulness is simply vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly observing mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination, and is most elegantly accomplished or practiced by silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. Meditation is just a fancy term for relaxing into our exhalation in such a manner that all that we perceive during our previous inhalation fleetingly feels less solid, less permanent, and less defining. And it's accomplished merely by silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. Having completed, let's switch gears now from silent mindfulness and meditation to mantra-oriented mindfulness and meditation. So let's take a moment to review an explanation of this mantra together. With whom we invoke the archetype of the Muni, wise one, Maha, greatly wise one, Muni, A of the Shakas, so high enlightenment for all. Excuse me. So, here's how it works. During our inhalation, silently and mentally we recite, relaxing into this. What's this? And this is whatever spontaneously pierces our sphere of perception. Be it a sight, a sound, a sensation, a flavor, a scent, or a flavor. I lost count. Let's try that again. Be it a sight, a sound, a sensation, a flavor, a scent, or the like, including emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. What do we do with them? Glad you asked. As we exhale, we physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Now, if this is your first time hanging out with me, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. The most important thing is not how fast you or melodiously recite the mantra, but you relax as best you can during the exhalation. So, so here's the key to counting on our fingers. One breath per finger, 1 repetition per crease. So together, let's go for it. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. 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 That was our first collection of 12 rounds. We keep track of our second collection by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, placing both hands in our lap. This could coalesce or settle energy at our crown. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. 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 To keep track of our third collection of 12 rounds, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger in our lap, thus inducing our subtle energies to coalesce at our heart. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni 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 Yesuwa. To keep track of our fourth collection of 12 rounds, we can rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger in our lap, thus inducing our subtle energies to coalesce at our navel. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. We keep track of our fifth collection of 12 rounds by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger in our lap. Thus inducing our subtle energies to coalesce in our lower abdomen. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Almost an hour ago, we began with Mahayoga's wisdom warm-ups. We then practiced both silent as well as mantra-oriented mindfulness meditation. And now we're fixing to conclude with Mahayoga's compassionate cool-down, for loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Please chant with me. Rather than indulge our controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors or similes. Together. Well, before we start, this bit begins with the word may. Now, this word is not a signal that we're about to pray to a real or imagined celestial entity. It's merely indicative that we are using words to guide our loving intention. That's it. Love is not a contrivance. There are dedicated portions of our brain specifically for empathy. Let's continue. May all minds of all beings know be as peacefully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a tikle one suitable seed or bija mantra. We keep track of this, our 6th collection of 12 rounds, by gently resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger in our lap. Doing so coalesces our subtle energies in our lower abdomen, the bladder region, if you will. May we be a font of blessing for all which we think or who think of us. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeswa, 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeswa. Allow me to remind you what you've already surmised, and that is that we take all these words and coalesce them into just 6 syllables. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeswa, 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeswa. The mental morality of kind intention is the 2nd fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. So I think I'm going to do real quick like a bunny. Oh, I'll do that some other time. Right now, I guess I won't. So I'm going to move this bad boy. Where is there it is, excellent. Does it cut and go over here? That way in the future there'll be less confusion. All right, here we go. To keep track of our 7th collection of 12 rounds, we could rest the great knuckle at the root or base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger in our lap, thus inducing our subtle energies to coalesce at our navel wheel. Together. May all relationships, all speech of all beings know be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech symbolized by a multisyllabic mantra. May we be a fount of blessing for all who we hear us speak, or hear us, or speak of us. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeswa, 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeswa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeswa, 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yeswa. The interpersonal morality of kind communication is the 3rd fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. We keep track of the 8th collection of our 12 rounds by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger in our lap, thus inducing our subtle energies to coalesce at our heart. May all bodies or forms of all beings... Oops, this is what I want. This is an edit I've been thinking about for an hour. Here we go. May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health represented by Buddha statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined Yadaman type of enlightenment such as Shakyamuni. Now, to make it easier to chant, it would be very nice if I added some what I call chanting notation. You might call it silliness. May we be a fount of blessing for all who we touch or who touch us. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. The physical morality of kind conduct is the 4th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. We keep track of this, the ninth and final collection of 12 rounds, by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, in our hand, thus inducing our subtle energies to coalesce at our crown. May all circumstances or lots of all beings now have the safe fortune or boon, as a Buddha's real or imagined paradise Pirlando Vanti. May we be a font of blessing for all we see or see us. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. The circumstantial morality of kind commerce is the 5th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 2/3 hours, I would very much like to return to today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.